What's up, everybody? I am back, and I just want to tell you to just keep pushing, keep moving forward. I know life can be tough, it can be difficult, it could be hard to find answers, to get solutions, it could be all of that. As I say again, I am a living testimony of where you are isn't where you always got to be. I couldn't imagine my life being the way that it is, and it's not saying I got this. Well, I do have this great life, but it's not great because I have a lot of money or I have the best of the best. I mean, none of that. I think that life is just so amazing for me because I've kind of figured out what life is supposed to be, like simplicity, having true gratitude, like being grateful that I can wake up every morning, being grateful that I have my health, the activities of my limbs, my senses, all these things that money can't buy, these things that God provides for me every single day. True joy. True joy for me is internal gratitude. I seek joy over happiness. Happiness is just, it's uncontrollable. It's outside circumstances and things that dictate the way you feel. And I'm just not for happiness. Like, happiness is the result. The type of happiness I want is the happiness that comes from gratitude. Like, the happiness that's just attached to it and there's a bypass of that, not seeking the happiness that the world says that you're supposed to have, the money, the cars, the clothes, all the things that you want. In actuality, I figured out, to me, that stuff is nice, but it's not that important to be able to base my life and my achievements and just all of that over things and me get in my way. It doesn't matter. When you truly decide to say, you know what, I want to live the life that I was created to live. And what's so crazy about that is when you decide to live the life that you were created to live, it's almost like a mystery. It's like it's a challenge. You're going about a life that you were created to live that a lot of times you don't have the answers for. You don't know where next is. You don't know any of this. It's just solely dependent upon God. And God's going to use your story. He's going to use the things that you've learned, the people you've met, your testimonies, your trials, what you've been built up to be. He's going to use that not only for his glory, but for the things that you're supposed to do. And he's going to use your past as practice and as something that could be useful for your future. And I can attest to that personally. I went to culinary school. I was a chef for 10 years. Before going to culinary school, I was a high school dropout. Went back to school, got my high school diploma at 22 years old, and didn't go to culinary school until about 24 years old. And my thing is, I'm going to be one of the best chefs. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. 2 months after graduation, I'm just having a conversation with God. And he's pretty much telling me the thing that you're doing isn't what you're supposed to be doing. I'm thinking, like, why didn't we have this conversation before I started culinary school? Because culinary school was expensive. His exact words, I'll never forget it, was, you decided to do that on your own, and we didn't have a conversation about that. So in the midst of me going about life my way, God had a plan. He was doing things that I couldn't even see. I didn't even know that I was going to be doing something that I felt I wasn't prepared for. The preparation that I felt that I had was cooking, was culinary school, was being a chef, which I got to do that, and I did it much longer than I was supposed to because of me being hard-headed, stubborn, disobedient. But eventually, when I decided to listen and go forth his way and where he wanted me to go, you know, it was hard. It was difficult. He pretty much just told me to, hey, quit doing what you're doing and go do this. And so I took that as, I went to go work at the bank for a year. That wasn't working. God was like, no, that's not it. So I left the bank after a year and I was like, all right, I'll go back into hospitality, but I'll be a server and I'll do it part-time. God's like, no, that's not it either. Fully trust me, son. Fully trust me. And so I was doing part-time driving for Uber and Lyft, rideshare driving. And God's like, do that. I'm like, I do this part-time and it provides a little bit of money, but I don't know if it's sustainable for, to provide for my family. God's like, trust me, I'll provide everything for you. Don't worry about what you can do or what's going to provide, because I'm the one that provides. So I was like, all right, I did it. Was nervous because, that money is inconsistent. Who would have ever known that now I've been doing it for about 6.5 years, maybe 3 years full time, and God has provided every step of the way. Never missed a meal, never been short of money, no matter what the money is. Like, just say if there was a week where the money was just $200, God used that 200 and made it to be like 2,000. I can't describe it or explain it, but when he said that he would provide, that's what he meant. No matter what the money looks like, I'm going to provide everything outside of it to where the money that you have and what I'm doing won't even match. And the only way to explain it would be to know that I did it. And still to this day. And now what I realize is God wanted me to drive full time because he knew that I could reach people that I wasn't able to reach in other spaces and places, like being in the back of a kitchen. I couldn't reach anyone there. I was limited, maybe a couple of people. But driving every day, who would have known that this would be my ministry? Like driving ministries or mobile ministries or whatever you call it. I'm able to pray for people. I'm able to bring people to Christ. I'm able to educate people. I'm able to do way more in this vehicle than I've ever been able to do. And the crazy thing about it is, this wasn't my plan. This wasn't something that I decided to do. This isn't even something that I wanted to do. But when I decided to trust God's plan and start going about life in a way, getting to know him and going after the things that he wanted me to do, this is where I'm at. And I can tell you that I've never been happier in life. It's not a CEO position. It's not a 6-figure paying position. It's not any of that. But you know what? God provides every step of the way, and I've never been happier. And now I've fallen in love with his plans and the things that he has for me to do. And now I'm just obedient. I'm a servant, a vessel, be used by him to change other people's lives. So I just encourage you to just follow the plan that God has for you, that he created you to be able to do. And you may not be on board with in the beginning, but I came to tell you that once you start to really get the hang of it and you really get to understand it, you'll fall in love with it. It'll be the greatest thing that you can ever do. This is my time for this week. I'll see y'all next week.